Hi, in this special episode, you will meet my guest who was a project manager for working for a big bank, and many of you are already working on a full job. So he is one of them who started a business as a part-time. Now, finally, a few years later, he is a full-time successful Amazon seller and making a good money. And of course, his vision is a really big one. While he is already diversified from one business to another business, and now he's can almost play it like full. You can't believe how many weeks it took me to really get him on this call because because we really wanted him to share his how he's running this whole ship. And by the way, you know what? He is not from this country, just like me. I originally 20 years ago I migrated from Pakistan, and he has migrated to US from New Zealand almost 20 years ago. So now imports products from New Zealand, not from China like everybody else, and sells on Amazon. Hello, this is Mohammed Siddiq, publisher of Work From Home magazine. Today, I have a very special guest, Andrea Stevens from Los Angeles, California. Thank you so much for joining us on this contact pack training today. Please join me to welcome our guest, Andrea Stevens. Andrea, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Andrea, let me start with this. What happened? Where were you? Who you were surrounded with? What inspired you to do what you do today?
Okay, yeah. Well, I'd worked for years as a project manager, an IT project manager, and yeah, I was getting older and a little bit sick of having a 9-to-5 job and so on and so forth. And I wanted a little bit more flexibility, to spend time with my family and do charitable things and so on and so forth. So I said, well, I've got to have an income, and I can't give up my job. So there's the challenge. So my situation is a little bit different. Yeah, so I'm single and unsupported by anybody. So I had to basically make myself a job, and that's what I did.
How you got into Amazon then?
I was referred by a friend who was doing an Amazon selling course, and he said, "Look, listen, this is great. This lays it out in a step-by-step manner. You can learn it." And I said, "Okay, let me try it out." So I started part-time while I was still employed, learning and setting up my products and so on part-time. So that I could transition from the job basically, into when I actually was starting to make some money into this full time.
That's great, Andrew, and I'm sure many of our subscribers who are Work From Home magazine subscribers, of course, they are working on a full time, many of them, if not all of them, and they want more flexibility, lifestyle, freedom, and of course, they want to supplement their income to doing something on the side, and hopefully someday they can transition to a full time business. That's probably you fit into that profile. Probably they can learn a lot from you, Andrew.
Okay.
Cool. So before we get into a lot more deep questions, what makes you to uniquely qualified to speak on selling on Amazon, the world #1 most trusted site, as a qualified person to speak on?
Well, I guess I've succeeded at it. I have stats, I have an income, and it was sort of a dream for me. My dream, you see, is sitting on the back of my yacht in some remote location with a cell phone signal with my laptop running a business. That's my dream. So I am on the way to achieving that dream. So what makes me uniquely qualified is basically I did not know anything about e-commerce, selling on Amazon, or selling on any other, online selling, and I just learned it. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Wonderful. Jim Rohn said, "Bigger the why, easier the how." Why selling on Amazon with your own product is so important to achieve a greater success in your point of view?
Yes, well, there are many people selling on Amazon or selling on other online platforms. The competition is pretty fierce. So you have to have your own unique, either your own unique product or your own niche, basically, that you will create and develop yourself, so that you're not trying to compete with everybody, and you're not trying to compete with on price, but you're basically developing your own business, your own brand, your own product, and that way, yeah, that way you're not really trying to compete with a whole lot of people. You're just creating your own thing.
Wonderful. That really, over a long-term basis, they build a real business which they can eventually sell it to somebody else.
Of course.
Yeah.
It gives you options in the future, of course. Yeah, because it's basically, it's an established brand. There's cash flow. There's, it's basically a business, but then can be run on remote control by somebody else.
Cool. That's the ideal thing.
Yes.
What is building a business on Amazon by definition?
What is building a business?
Yeah, on Amazon by definition.
I would say building a business would be creating your own brand and your own products, and then working out how to promote those products and drive traffic or customers basically to your listing on Amazon so that they buy from you. And the more effectively you can do that, the more the user can succeed.
Then my next question is really kind of detailed, which we can get to know the real meat. How can someone start selling on Amazon on a step-by-step basis?
I think the best thing is to research and find a course that you can do, something that's pretty structured, that takes you from absolute zero knowledge and takes you step by step, which I did, to achieving that. And the other thing is also to be hooked up with other people that are doing similar things, because it's really essential when you work from home business. You need support, and if you're part of a community or where you can go phone a friend or ask a friend or whatever a question, there are many questions at the beginning, so it's kind of quite overwhelming. But you've got to wade through all of that and then be able to have some support where you can get questions that you have answered.
Wonderful. However, can you give us some kind of high-level step-by-step something so people can get an understanding of high-level how this selling on Amazon works?
Okay, good. Basically, you've got to research Amazon, find out what is selling on Amazon, and you've got to really study the what is it, something that you would like to sell, or what something that you're familiar with. Like maybe it's baby products that you're very familiar with, or maybe it's this. Then you find an opportunity where somebody is selling quite well, but their listing isn't all that great, and you think you can do better than that, and they don't have all that very many reviews and so on and so forth. So you see an opportunity. Then obviously you've got to find a supplier that's going to supply you that particular thing, and then you've got to go through and then list it on Amazon, learn how to do that, get the supply there, get the supply to Amazon. I use Amazon fulfillment. I do not fulfill any orders myself. Amazon does everything. They do all the customer service, etc., etc. And then you learn how to drive traffic, which is basically customers to your Amazon listing, and that's the whole game, is getting your people to see your listing or whatever, and hopefully it is a really good listing and it's what people want, and they buy. That's very high level.
Cool. No, this is good. This is good. So what they need to do is they need to, I'm going to do a quick recap. They need to find a product which is selling on Amazon, and they actually know what they're passionate about a product. It could be a kitchen product, it could be an outdoor product, it could be sports product, it could be anything, what a baby product, as you mentioned.
Yes.
What is actually selling on Amazon, and plus they have a passion about the product, so that means they have some kind of knowledge about their product, and we all buy products from Amazon, so that way we use the products. Now, instead of being as a buyer, now you need to think from a seller point of view, not as a buyer point of view.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once product, then you go on Alibaba from China, or from even New Zealand, or from many other countries, and even from the US. In fact,
In some cases.
In some cases, based on what the product is, so you really find a manufacturer or a supplier or a factory who manufacture a product on your behalf and put your name on the product. So they are building a product for you. You don't have to have your own factory. And then once you place an order with them, pay them, of course, then you ask them to ship it on your behalf to the Amazon warehouse. So when your product listing goes live, when someone buys from Amazon, Amazon will ship it on your behalf from your storage, what you already have it at Amazon. I just want to make sure that I said everything correctly, Andrew.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, correct.
By the way, when you actually list a product on Amazon, you may sell a thing or two, but you may not sell at all to start with. So don't get impatient or like frustration with that. There is a secret sauce process how you actually market that product so that people see it. Until somebody sees it, nobody will buy it. So that's where the Andrew is mentioning about a course. So that way you can go through step-by-step process how to launch that product, like any other business basically. And selling on Amazon is another business. Only better is because Amazon is a trusted site, so people will buy with the confidence. Especially Amazon is shipping on your behalf. You don't have to be worried about you're using Amazon trust and you're in your favor.
Right. Exactly.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, once you have your product, you have your listing and so on. I mean, obviously, then the whole science is really analyzing why do people buy and how do people get there, and you proactively promoting by different means to actually get the customer to go have a look at your listing. And that's really the way you kind of run the business. You're constantly looking at metrics, what's successful, what's not successful, where you're spending money, and being very aware of how much money you're spending on promotion and basically the return from investment. And don't think that you have to have a lot of money, because I started off very, very small. I started off with 100 units in Amazon with $2,000 or $3,000 worth of capital, and I just built it. I was very conservative with my advertising costs. I just basically organically built it step by step. So I got more capital, I reinvested capital, and it wasn't until about 6 or 9 months that I started paying myself. Very conservatively at first, but after about I think about a year. Now I'm at the stage where I'm basically taking profit, and then also setting aside money to build my inventory and invest in new types of products, that I can add to my brand and so on.
Well, wonderful. In fact, it's great. There are 90% businesses fail when they start in the first year, almost first year or two. And you are the success story from that remaining 10% who actually start making profit after a year and start paying and earning your lifestyle. So congratulations, Andrew, to you on making it happen.
Okay.
Cool. So what if any one of our Work From Home magazine subscribers got started today with selling on Amazon business? what would their life look like in 30 days, 90 days, or 6 months, or a year from now?
Okay, in 30 days, you'll be extremely busy. You'll be doing really long hours because you'll probably be working a job at the same time. And you would be sweating. And you would be running into brick walls, and you'd be going, oh my goodness, is this all worth it? This is so much work. And I really don't know, and so on and so forth, right? That's 30 days. You're like right in the middle of it, like trying to learn everything, and oh my goodness, right? And then at 90 days, you'll maybe be getting a few sales, and you'll be tearing your hair out because there's still more things that you're running into that you don't know, and so on and so forth. Well, at 90 days, you have to keep persisting. Step by step by step by step by step, one step at a time. Keep persisting. And then 90 days, and then what? What's the next time frame?
6 months or a year from now.
Okay, 6 months, you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you might have had like, whoa, okay, you might have had some like days or weeks where you're not quite sure what happened, but wow, I saw the whole lot come. And then you quickly do your analysis and say, okay, well, I did this. Okay, I got to keep doing that. I was doing that, but that didn't have any effect. You're juggling. You're trying to kind of get the trend of your statistics going up. It's still a struggle, but you have some hope, and you just keep persisting. I say persist. So every day is an adventure. Every day. Because Amazon, for example, can be kind and it can be cruel. But you have to persist through all of that, all of the problems and all the barriers and so on and so forth. And then then you're selling, and then you're at the end of the year, you go, wow, I'm actually making some money at this, but you're still monitoring it every day. And then you start to look to expand into other particular areas, other markets, and so on and so forth. So it's not a get rich quick scheme at all. It just requires a lot of persistence. But the rewards are there for people who are willing to persist. And also not afraid to fail. For example, I started off with one product. It was highly competitive. I struggled with it, and I said, and then I went no. And then I dumped it. I started again from the beginning. This is 6 months into it. Did my whole research again and done, got my next product, and then that was it. Boom. It took off.
It's like anything else in a life where you may not succeed the first time. However, now you learn so many things where you can actually, if you have to all over again.
Exactly.
That's what right. That's how you applied it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happened with my first product. So I didn't say I failed. Well, I learned a lot. Great. So then I applied it to my next product, and then that was great.
Yeah, people say, either you're successful or you fail. It's either you learn a lesson or you're successful. You need to apply that lesson when you do it, redo it on the next one.
Totally.
And every time you get kind of quote unquote, as per other people, as a failure, you're getting one step closer to a success, because you learned so much which you will avoid on the next time when you try it.
Yes, exactly. So that's why persistence is very, very important. You got to keep going. And also you're not put yourself down. You just got to say, okay, well, you know, I didn't do it, but I did learn, and let me try next time. It's just like anything in life, really.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say, there's anything in a life, basically, you know, life itself has so many challenges. We all know that, we all face it. However, business has its own challenges. However, there is, if you are persistent, like Andrew, our guest, you could be, there is significant reward at the end. So it's worth persisting for that, to earn that reward, so you can earn a lifestyle.
Exactly.
So that leads to my next question. What are the specific roadblocks that typically prevent someone from starting selling on Amazon?
The first roadblock is here. Your own limitations that you put on yourself. So you got to somehow just push through that. The other roadblocks are just basically, really the only roadblock is lack of knowledge and your comprehension of how it really works. So you've got to study, learn, study. Try this, try that. And your willingness to be able to study and apply what you've learned and what other people have experienced and so on, is another major barrier. But you know, that again requires persistence, and if you can do that, that's great.
Cool. And that leads to my next question. What are the specific strategies to build a bigger, successful business on Amazon that are like a keys to unlock roadblock doors to achieve a wild success?
Well, I think you start with one product with a brand that has the potential to add other products to that particular brand, and you concentrate on that one or two products. Don't get dispersed over, you know, 5 or 10 different products. You might say, well, I'll just put 5 up there and then see which one goes, and so on. No, that's you'll disperse your attention all over the place. You've got to focus on one particular thing, get that going, to an acceptable sales level, which would be 20 or 30 unit sales a day, and then you've got some basic viability and some cash flow, and then at that point you go, okay, good. So what can I add? Sort of under the same brand, so you're not doing a whole lot of work all over again to develop something, and you can just add and add from that point. I think that's the best strategy.
So start with one. Once you are successful with one, then add the second one. Don't get into the second one. So spread thin into multiple things. Then you're putting money into so much inventory, and then you don't know which one is going to stick. So you're going to minimize your losses. That's the best successful strategy you're sharing with us.
Yes. Yeah. Don't try and go a whole lot of things on Amazon. You know, a whole lot of listings, and say, well, whatever works, I'll go with. Just no. Focus on one.
Cool. So what is the first physical action step you want to take to get started with selling on Amazon?
Physical action step.
What they should do when someone who's watching this interview right now and they want to do, what's the first physical action step you want them to do?
I'd search around and see who is doing well on Amazon or any other sort of site, and then either talk to them or investigate. What are they doing? Like, how did they learn? What did they do? And then talk to them, and then follow their steps. Whether it's an online course or whatever. don't go to Amazon and you'll get overwhelmed.
Amazon has millions of products, so that way you would not know where to start,
Exactly. So you got to do a bit of study first.
Great, folks. If you're still watching and want to get in touch with Andrew, you know the drill. You take out your cell phone, like my cell phone look like this, and send a text message to this number, 404-418-6019. In a message, put a word Andrew, ANDREW, and then we will send you the contact information, how you can be in touch with Andrew. If you're texting from outside of US, then you may have to do a +1, like a 001 or +1 area code. That's a country code. Again, if you're texting it from UK, it will be +1 404-418-6019. In a message, put a word Andrew and hit send. It's going to ask you your name and then the email. Then we are going to send you a link to connect with Andrew so that you can kind of build a relationship with there and ask more questions. Andrew, is that fine with you? You will help people who want to outreach to you?
Sure.
Great. My last question to you is, what would you say as a final word who would like to join to start selling on Amazon and create a lifestyle business like you have created for yourself?
Everybody has a dream. Why do people not achieve their dreams? The only reason is they don't have the courage to do what it takes to achieve their dream. And persist until they do that. So my last word is your dreams have been achieved by other people, and I used to look at people and go, my goodness, how they ever did that. Well, what I did was find out how they did, and then follow the steps. And that's what happens.
Thank you, Andrew, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Work From Home magazine and its entire community, we appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddiq, wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do hope our path across again on our next hangout from Work From Home magazine. All good wishes.